This will be exercise number 4 in chapter 4. In this exercise we're going to create a template for ramp 4. We're going to be in our civil geometry file, or you can be in any file again for this, because it's going to open up the create template, or the ITL file, for you to place this in. Okay, so we're going to create a ramp 4 template, and the ramp 4 template is going to go into a folder called ramp 4 under our job folder in our ITL. If I scroll down, we're doing some of the same stuff that we did in the other exercises, where we're going to set up our dynamic settings. The only thing we're going to do a little different here is we're going to set the apply affixes and set our left and right prefixes up to LT underscore and RT underscore. That will put an LT or an RT in front of a point name if it's on the left side of the center line or on the right side of the center line. Okay, and then we're given some instructions here on how to create it. So what we're going to try and create is this item right here, this template, where we're going to have a kind of a retaining wall here. We're going to have our ramp with a 2% slope off of that, and then we're going to have some sort of end condition here where we have fill or a ditch, and we'll test that out, make sure that we have it working correctly when we're done. See up here we've got an end condition that basically tries to connect up to existing ground as well. Okay, our origin point is right here on the outside of the edge of pavement for that ramp. That's going to be where the center line of ramp 4, horizontal and vertical, will be at this point right here, and that's where we'll be placing that template. Okay, we'll come back and look at this again here in a little while. First off, we're going to go out and do this first portion here where we're going to get up our ITL and create our folder and create a new template. Okay, so we're going to go into our regular drawing that we've been going into, which is our civil geometry file for J5P 3181. We're going to go into the open roads modeling, corridors, and we're going to click on the create template tool, which is the template with the hammer. Once we click on that tool, it's going to open up the mo.itl if this is the first time that you've been in this drawing. If you've done exercises 1 through 3 and you're continuing on, you may already be in this template library that we need to be in, but if you're not, we need to go ahead and open it. So we'll do a file, open, and this should be in your data 4 folder out in project wise. So we've got the J5P 3181 ITL. That's the one that we want to grab, and we'll open that up. This is where we kind of left off last time with the last exercise, creating our end condition. Now we need to create the ramp 4. So what we're going to do is come over here to the left, and we're going to find our J5P 3181 folder, and we'll highlight it, and then we're going to right click on it and do a new folder. This time we're going to call this one ramp 4. You can have spaces in your ITL, that's not a problem here. And then inside of ramp 4 we're going to right click and do a new template. Okay, our new template, if we take a look at our project here, we're going to name it ramp 4 pavement with curb and gutter. Okay, ramp 4 pavement with curb and gutter, right here. Okay, I'm going to go back out into our drawing, go back into the create template, and we're just going to name it that. Okay, ramp 4 pavement with curb and gutter. So we've got one named correctly now, so we'll scroll down through here, take a look at our dynamic settings. Again, we've got the steps, point 1 and point 1. We've got apply affixes we're going to turn on, and then under tools and options we're going to go and do our prefix. So in here we've got dynamic settings. Again, you can get that from the tools, pull down dynamic settings, or you can pick on this small button down here next to the scroll bars. Okay, in our dynamic settings we're going to set this up 0.1 and 0.1. The other thing we're going to do is apply affixes. I always like to double check that apply affixes is turned on up here in the tools as well. So we'll go to tools and options, and we'll make sure that it's turned on here, and then we're going to put in our prefixes. So LT underscore for the left and RT underscore for the right. Okay, what that does for us again is puts a LT underscore in front of points on the left side of a center line of items that we drag out here onto the screen, and RT on the ones on the right side of the center line. So we'll say OK to that. And now we're ready to start dragging in components from our list over here on the left hand side. So let's take a look at what we're supposed to bring in here. Okay, so we've got some setup requirements we want to look at. In here we're going to change our concrete thickness, so we're bringing out a concrete pavement, and we need to change the thickness of that right away after we bring it in, before we add the curb and gutter type B with ag base. So that's another item we're going to do. After adding each of the curb and gutter, we're going to move the centerline merge point to opposite edge of pavement and merge points. And when we're asked to point to delete, we're going to say get rid of the CL merge point. Then we're going to modify our pavement width to 18 feet, and then we're going to have the pavement slope downward to the right at 2%. Then we're going to bring in our wall. Okay, and then we're going to merge the left retaining wall lower ground tie point to the left curb surface back point. We're going to remove the left retaining wall upper ground component from the cut wall, and we're going to place a type A gutter 6 inches down from the outside of the cut wall. Then we're going to adjust the ditch back slope on the left side to a negative 1-to-1 slope, which is minus 100%, and then we're going to save the template library. So these are the things that we need to do as we're placing items out there. So on the left side of the template, we're going to have a concrete pavement with ag base. Okay, then we're going to have a curb and gutter type B. We're going to have the cut wall, and we're going to have a a gutter type A on that left side, and then a ditch back slope. And on the right side, we're going to have just the curb and gutter, and then we're going to have a sidewalk over on the right side, and then we're going to put in a ditch and a fill slope. Down below we tell you where those items are located so you can find them easily, and then again we're going to have it look like this when we're finished. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do on the left side, I'm going to bring out this concrete pavement with ag base, and that's going to be under components, pavement new, pavement only, and concrete. So if we take a look at our create template, here we are over here on the left. Under the components, we want regular components, not the one underneath of our job number. So components, pavement new, pavement only, concrete, and then we have the concrete pavement with ag base. So right here, there's some 2-lane options. We want the concrete pavement with ag base. As we drag that out on the screen, you can see this needs to go on the left side. And right now it's placing it on the right side. So as we drag this out onto the screen, we're going to right click and hit reflect. And then we're going to drag this over to 0, 0 and drop that off. Okay, so this is the left side. This is what we have for the left side right now. If we take a look at our setup for that, we're going to make the concrete thickness negative 0.8125 before we add anything else. So let's go in and do that. There's a couple ways that you can do it. We only have a couple of points here, so we can just modify the 2 pavement points. So if I zoom in here, I can see that there's a left concrete B EOP, and you can see they put the LT on there because we did the prefix. So if I double click on that point, right now it's 6667. We need it to be -8125. Okay, and we will apply that, and then we'll drop it down to -0.8125. We can hit this little pick button, come out here on the screen, and we can go to the other side and click on concrete BCL. And we'll just put the same in there. We'll replace the numbers there with 0.8125 as a negative and apply that. Then we'll close that. So now we've adjusted our pavement thickness. We take a look at the next thing. Before we add that curb and gutter, we needed to do that. Okay. So we're going to go in here and add in the curb and gutter type B with ag base. That tells us that it is underneath components, curb and or gutter. So we're going to come in here. We're going to close up the pavement new. We'll come into curb and or gutter. And we've got a type B with ag base. So curb and gutter type B with ag base. As you can see in the preview window, it's wanting to put it on the right side. We already did one reflect, so it's highly possible it'll come out the correct way. And it is, as you can see. It's also got a green point out there to the right. You can see that as I'm dragging it out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drop this on that left concrete T EOP. But you can see that other green point on the right side is hitting the concrete TCL over there. Okay, so the point turns white on the left hand side. We're going to go ahead and drop that off. Since we made our pavement thickness 0.8125 down, now all of that lines up on the left. Okay, let's take a look here. After adding each curb and gutter, move the centerline merge point. So we need to add the curb and gutter on the right side now. Okay, so it's the same curb and gutter. So we're going to go in and grab that same curb and gutter, and we're going to put it over here. And to do that, we're going to drag it out, and we need to take off the reflect. So we'll right click, turn off that reflect, and we're going to come out here, and you can see that green point now is on the left hand side, and we're going to drop that off at the concrete TCL. Okay, we've got that put in there. Here's that merge point that it's talking about. So let's take a look at that merge point. What are we going to do with it? After adding each curb and gutter, move that CL merge point to the opposite edge of the pavement and merge the points. And we're basically going to delete that point out. Okay, so we're going to right click over the top of that. We're going to move that point. We're going to put it right over the top here of our edge of pavement. As you can see right here, it says move it to the opposite edge of the pavement and do a merge point. So the opposite edge of the pavement is this one here. Okay, so we're going to left click and place that at that point. Now we're going to right click and we're going to merge points. So we placed it on top of all those other points. Now we're going to right click on it, merge points. It says which one do you want to delete? So we're going to do the left centerline merge point. We're going to delete that point. Okay, so now everything is kind of tied in to this pavement here. Okay, take a look at the next thing. It says modify the pavement width to be 18 feet. So we're going to go in and do that. So the width of the pavement is based on the concrete TCL, which is over here on the right hand side. So this left hand edge of pavement, it's kind of hard to see that that's what it is. We zoom in, T concrete T EOP. We're going to double click that one. And right now it's set at 2% at -18 or -12, and we need that to be a -18. So we're going to do that and apply it. And that's going to push that point out to where it's 18-foot wide pavement. Okay. We also have the pavement slope downward to the right at 2%. Right now it is downward to the left, so we needed the pavement to go up that direction. So we're going to modify that same point, that left concrete TEOP. We're going to double click it, and right now it says it's a +2, so we're going to change that sign to a -2 to make it go up. So put a -2 in front of it, apply it, and that will change the direction or the slope of that point. Okay, so if I take a look at it without the point names on, you can see this is what we have going on right now. Okay, we'll take a look at next. We're going to bring in on the left side, we're going to bring in the cut wall, case 5. Okay, we're going to use existing ground since no profiles exist. So basically, we're going to bring this in, and the end condition out there is going to seek existing ground. Otherwise, we would have a profile that might be the top of the wall or something like that it can follow. But we're going to use existing ground. So cut wall, case 5. Okay, and that is located in this position right here, components, retaining wall, cut wall. So we'll come out here, we'll close up curb and gutter, we'll look for a retaining wall underneath components, we got a cut wall, we got a case 5, use existing ground, no profile exists. Okay, and where it wants us to bring that out to, see if it says in here anything about that. It says when bringing out the cut wall, merge the points, the left retaining wall lower ground tie point to the left curb surface back. In the preview window, this is something kind of new that we haven't really talked about a lot in the past, but inside the preview window, when you select cut wall case 5, it opens up that preview. The original point here that it would be placed on would be that green point. We're going to place it based on this red point out here. So we're going to left click on that point, and then once you left click on it, you can just actually move it from the preview window and drop it off right here on the end of that curb and gutter. So you don't have to use the origin inside of each one of these templates that's created. You can choose which point to drag and drop out there. And that's what they're trying to do here in this example or this exercise. So that's something kind of new that we hadn't really taught in the past, and it's kind of a neat tool there. Okay, so we have brought that over, and we're going to merge those points and see. Let's see if they merged already together. Okay, it looks like they have already merged just by dropping it off at that point. So there's nothing more you really need to do on that. Since you drug it out based on that point, it will go ahead and merge those 2 points. Alright, the next thing in there is to remove the left retaining wall upper ground component from the cut wall. So remove the left retaining wall upper ground. So let's go back into our template. We've got this left retaining wall upper ground. You can see it right there. You can right click on the middle of it and actually delete that component. Okay, so all we did was right click on that component and delete that out. Alright, we'll take a look at going back in there now at our document. We've got that one removed out. It says place a type A gutter 6 inches down from the outside of the cut wall. Okay, so let's go down here and see if we can figure out where the curb and gutter for the gutter type A is. It says it's under Components, Curb and or Gutter, Gutter type A. Alright, so let's open that up. We will close down the retaining wall, open up Curb and or Gutter. So we want to place that 6 inches down from the outside of the cut wall. If you take a look at the picture of what we're trying to create here, you'll see this is what we're trying to create here, is this little gutter section right here, 6 inches down from that top portion of the wall over here on the left hand side. And you can see that that is just a gutter, so there's no curb, it's just gutter. So we're wanting the gutter type A. Now you can see in the preview window that looks like the component that we're wanting. And we're going to bring that out 6 inches below the retaining wall over here on the right. So this is the location here, and we're going to come down 6 inches and place that. Okay, so to do that, to bring that out for 6 inches, make sure you got the gutter type A. And you can see it in the preview window. It's wanting to place it on that side. You could either switch to this point and drag it out, or we can do a reflect. I'm just going to do a reflect on this one. And we're just going to place it out here on the left hand side somewhere, and then we're going to move it around. So I'm going to come out here, gutter type A, drag that on the screen. You can see that it is putting it on the wrong side. So I'm just going to right click, reflect, and we're just going to drop that off out there on the left hand side. So I need it to be in line here, but I need it to be 6 inches down, this green point. So that green point, we're going to modify that to look at this as a parent and be right on this horizontally 0, so straight up and down, but vertically we're going to be 6 inches down. So to do that, this green point, I'm going to double click on it. And we've got two constraints here that we can do, and right now it's not constrained at all. You can tell it's a green point. So we're going to go from none to horizontal. Our parent point, we're going to hit the little pick button, and we'll pick that left retaining wall top line. You can see it changes it to LT retaining wall T, and right now it is whatever value that you drug it out to, and we want that value to be 0. So we'll do a value of 0 and apply, and that should snug it up right next to our retaining wall. Now it's down however far. We're going to make it go down 6 inches from this left top. So again, we're going to do a constraint 2 of vertical. Our parent point, we'll hit the pick button, and we'll pick that left retaining wall top, just like that. So those two are the same parent. Right now I'm down a little over a foot. I need that to be 0.5. So I'm going to do a negative 0.5, which is 6 inches, and enter that in. You can also hit apply after that. Okay. Once you close that down, now you've got a gutter, type A gutter, that's 6 inches down from the top of that retaining wall. And that gets that information in there, G there. We're going to put in a ditch back slope 4:1. Okay. When we do that, we're going to adjust the ditch back slope on the left side to be a negative 1:1 or negative 100%. So that's that ditch back slope on the left side. Okay. If we look down here, I don't see that that's told to us where that is, but we know that that's in the end conditions under the ditches, so that's what we'll go look for. Okay, so we'll close up our curb and gutter, go to our end conditions, go to ditches, and we've got a ditch back slope 4:1. We will select that. As we bring it out, we have already done a reflect, so it knows we're working on this side. So we can come up and place that at the top of our gutter A. Okay. Then it says here that we want to change that. If you look at again here at the letter H, it says adjust the ditch back slope on the left to be a negative 100%. Okay, if we look at our picture, this is what we're kind of trying to create right here. So we'll double click on this left ditch back slope 1T, and you can see right now it's at negative 25%. So we need it to go up, and we're going to do a negative 100%. And we will apply that, and that should take it up. Okay, so our left side's looking pretty good right now. Take a look at this again. Now we've got on the right, we've got a sidewalk with a outer buffer. Okay, so we'll come in here, sidewalk with an outer buffer. We will look in our end conditions, close those up, and go to sidewalk, sidewalk with outer buffer. And you can see it's going to place it here on the left side of the template. As we move that out, it has flipped it over for us, so we need to right click and take off the reflect. And we're going to put this over here on the right side at the top of the curb. When that point turns white, we can just drop it off. Okay, we have something that looks like that right now. The next step in there is our right side ditch and fill slope. Okay, our right side we have just a regular ditch, and we also have a fill slope 4:1, which we're going to put at the edge of that sidewalk and outer buffer. So as you can see, this is what we're looking at here. We're going to drop in the ditch and drop in the fill slope. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right side here. We're under end conditions up here under the top part. So we're going to close up sidewalk, open up end conditions. We've got a regular ditch, so we'll bring that out and drop it off. And then our fill slope is a 4:1. So we got fill slope 1, 4:1. We will drop that off out there as well. Okay, and this is what we have it looking like so far. All right, once you've reached this point, all we need to do then is test it. Once you run the test, you don't have any issues. See what it looks like through here. If we go out and take a look at the active ground, hit the draw button, the gutter over there on the left hand side moves with the existing ground. Okay, and then we got fill slope. Typically you're going to have a ditch for most all of this. Okay. And what's happening here is that this top of this wall is coming down. Still kind of displays up there, but the top of the wall is coming down, which moves that gutter down. So if your existing ground over here on the left hand side is lower, everything will lower down to that based on that top of the wall and coming down. Okay, so it's hitting that existing ground on that left. Then on the right, if you go too far down, you will be in a fill slope situation. Okay, that's the end of exercise number 4, adding in ramp 4.